This is Christian Duke from RxMuscle.com. We're in the Iron Asylum at DK&J Pump Fitness in Dayton, Ohio. We're here with R.D. Caldwell, your 2014 NPC Team Universe overall champion. R.D., welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me, and thanks for the opportunity.
We're also here with Antoine Jones, who's part of R.D.'s team. He's his videographer. I want to welcome you also, Antoine.
Hello, sir.
And then we are here also with R.D.'s mentor, the owner of DK&J Fitness Pump here in Dayton, Ohio, Mr. Kevin Watley. Welcome.
It's great to be here.
Awesome. So what I want to talk to you about, I think a lot of people, the burning question on a lot of people's mind, talk to us about how you got to the Team Universe. I know that you won the overall at Dave Lieberman's Natural, Ohio, and that's a very, very big show, especially around here. If you could talk to us about sort of, the paying your dues aspect of it, the Natural, Ohio, your time as an NPC amateur, and then going to New Jersey and winning that big Team Universe.
Well, I started competing in 2002. I started competing as a teenager, and the goal, probably with everyone that starts competing, is to become an IFBB pro. I won the overall at Rick Ruther's show, the Mr. Cincinnati, in 2008, and then I won the overall at Dave Lieberman's show, the Natural Ohio, in 2010. And after that, I decided to take a break. But everything was planned and well thought out. I told my sister that I would be a pro by the time I turned 30. And my 30th birthday is April 18th. And she reminded me, she said, hey, you're supposed to return back to bodybuilding. So the plan came about. I did Julie Palmer's show, which is held here in Dayton at the Convention Center. And I won the overall there as a light heavyweight. All of the judges said I need to be tighter. And Dr. Andy Bartolovich said I need to just suffer. So I just suffered and went into the Team Universe, and thankfully, thank God, won the overall there. And just put in a lot of time, a lot of hard work, a lot of prayer, sacrifice, and dedication, and came out the overall winner.
I think a lot of people too are going to be, they're really into you because of the videos that you've put out and how important your father's been. And the fact that you've decided to take the natural road and going to the Team Universe and winning that show is very, very big. It's the Super Bowl of natural bodybuilding, as a lot of people say. I guess if you could, we had talked about it as we were going into the interview. You're sort of at a crossroads right now as far as your career goes. There's people like Skip LaCour and Michael Lockett that have won this contest, and they chose not to get a pro card. Jeff Willett, who actually has a question for you later in the interview, accepted the pro card, then retired. And then there's people like Kai Green and Jose Raymond, who we don't know, but they may have enhanced their physiques a little bit, and they're at a different level. Where do you see yourself as far as the future goes in the IFBB?
I am praying that they bring the classic bodybuilding division over here to the United States. They already have it in Europe, and that is where your weight is limited by your height. And that doesn't even necessarily mean that it will be natural or drug tested per se. That doesn't really matter.
It doesn't.
I think the key is bringing back the classic physique and a more aesthetic physique. So if someone chooses to not be as big, because everything's a choice, and everybody has the ability to make a choice. So that's fine. If that's their choice to go that route, that's fine. But everybody does not want to go that route. So I believe it would be a very marketable and very profitable option for the IFBB to include the classic bodybuilding division. Myself, I've made a vow to God, to my family, and to myself to remain natural, lifetime drug-free. So that's my choice.
That's awesome. And in fact, the whole idea of the classic physique, the division you talked about, I think a lot of people wanted physique to be that division, but physique just doesn't have the emphasis on the lower body, and this would. So I think that's definitely very cool. And also, I would have to ask you just a question about Jeff Beckham, who's also a Team Universe overall champion. He wanted to congratulate you on your win, and he wanted to ask you what other avenues you would do as a pro. Like, what would you, in other words, would you do competitions or expos, meet and greets? Like, what kind of plans do you have for that IFBB Pro card now that you have it?
Oh, absolutely. I thank God for the doors that it has opened so far. I will be in the local newspaper here this weekend, And because of my title, I've had the opportunity to go and speak at the Juvenile Detention Center here as well. And I plan on doing as much as I can, giving back to the sport, helping other athletes prepare for competition. And the mainstream general public is still not aware of the sport of bodybuilding. The sport of bodybuilding has grown by leaps and bounds, but there's still the general population that's, what do you guys do? Lift weights?
Right.
No, we pose. They have no clue. So I really would like to go mainstream with it. And again, that classic bodybuilding division, maybe being kind of in between IFBB professional bodybuilding and the physique division. The guys that are too big for physique and the guys that are too small.
Well, it's certainly something being pushed at RX by Dave Palumbo and Chris Aceto. A lot of people, I haven't actually ever encountered anyone that wouldn't like to see something like that on stage.
Right.
I kind of want to segue a little bit into your protein supplementation aspect. Jeff Willett, who's a 2003 Team Universe overall winner, also really congratulated you. Love your physique. He owns Jeff Willett's Powerhouse Gym in Adrian, Michigan, which is about 2 hours away from here, 2.5 hours. He wanted to know, as far as protein consumption, he wanted to know where you got most of your protein from, whole foods or supplements. So if you could talk about that.
Food. You have to eat. I probably eat in the off season at least 2 pounds of beef a day and between half a dozen and a dozen whole eggs. Wow. I eat a lot, and I'm known for having such a tremendous appetite. So definitely.
And that's interesting too, because we've actually, like Jerry Branham has written articles about this, and a lot of the fitness magazines have also about the egg yolk, and you said you actually eat whole eggs.
Yes.
So your fat intake is actually rather
high. Very high fats, even in the saturated fats, to help the body produce cholesterol and in turn produce more testosterone with the whole eggs and the red meat. So I'm eating a lot of steaks, a lot of beef. Now it's free range, antibiotic and hormone free.
That's really
and
good.
The eggs are free range, high in omega-3s, because actually grass-fed beef is higher in omega-3s than salmon. If the animals are produced naturally and they eat what they're supposed to eat,
right.
You are what you eat and whatever it ate.
Of course, and the fact that they're treated humanely and cage free, all that really helps.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
absolutely.
So the other thing I really want to talk about too, this weekend you have a speaking engagement. I want to talk about your role as far as I don't want to answer the question. What are you doing this weekend, and how important is God to you in your life?
My faith is everything. My faith is what has brought me this far. My faith in God and fully submitting to Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I'm a part of the Hustling for Jesus prison ministry, and it is about really affecting change and transformation in people's lives through the gospel of Jesus Christ. I will be speaking at a church in Canton, Ohio later on this evening. Actually, we're preaching a revival, and then Saturday I'll be speaking at a men's conference. So it's just been a blessing to have that door open, and I'm also involved in prison ministry and different things of that nature, so I'm thankful.
Awesome. Do that. And as we sort of wrap up the interview, because I know a lot of people are going to see and hear a lot more about you, I know that for you, where you're at, a big part of where you're at is thanks in part to your team. So we have two very important members of your team here. We have Antoine Jones, who's your videographer. If you could talk about the relationship that you both have, and then after that, if you could talk about your relationship with Kevin Watley, who's your mentor and who I'm sure has done a lot for you as well.
The people that God have brought into my life have been a tremendous blessing. Antoine and I are best friends, and he has really helped a lot with helping me get my career off the ground, as far as our mindset and our mentality. And he makes all of my videos. He puts them together. His creativity is incredible. God has truly gifted him in that area. He just puts things together, and then I put my mouth on the floor because my mouth's hanging open. I'm always surprised about it. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, that video, Antoine, that you made and how you were able to, because it wasn't just RD talking about his dad. It was what you were able to do from an artistic perspective. I mean, honestly, that video made me want to cry like several times. And not only did it make me want to cry, I actually watched it twice from beginning to end. So that's very powerful that you have that ability to really show him and his dad the relationship that they have on video. That takes a lot of talent.
Yeah, I almost cried too.
Yeah.
After I watched, but this just some of the things that you don't hear in bodybuilding on a normal basis. We just wanted to put it out there and just show the bodybuilding world something new. So we try to edit the videos and make different style of videos.
And it's okay for that interruption because that's actually a very good song. So if it had been a whack song, but that's a very good song. And then as far as you had said that, and Antoine, thank you by the way, you had said that Kevin was your mentor. And that is not a term that is used loosely in this sport or any walk of life. He is your mentor. So if you could talk about that, I know we're kind of getting on the 10-minute mark. It doesn't matter. This guy is important to you, and I want you to really... What does that mean to you?
Kevin has been a godsend. If it were not for Kevin Watley, I would not be a bodybuilder. I was lifting weights when I met him. I walked into his gym when I was 15 years old, and he's the owner, and he's a natural bodybuilder, and he just showed me the ropes. And the thing is, he's always been there for me. He's always been loyal. He's always been committed, dedicated. He shared his knowledge with me. He's always been with me at almost every bodybuilding show. It's just, I'm thankful for his friendship and his guidance and his leadership as well.
Kevin, what do you have to say? I mean,
when I first met RD, he was the perfect picture of a young bodybuilder. He came into the gym and I first looked at him. He was working out. He had his notebook with him, his pencil in his hand. He was truly a student of the game. His body parts were already proportionate, and I could just feel the passion coming off of him. And I said, you can go all the way. You got the whole package right now, and you ain't even started yet. And from that day on, he has not looked back. And
that's awesome because, I mean, for a lot of guys and girls, when they walk into the gym, it's all about them. But there's a certain situation, like a Brian Dobson, Ronnie Coleman situation, where a gym owner or just picks you out of the choir and says you got what it takes and believes in you. And like you said, I mean, you may not be a bodybuilder today if it wasn't for Kevin. So really, you guys. Kevin, Antoine, I mean, your team is a really big part of your success, and it's good that, we can have them in the interview with you.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, just coming full circle, I just want to, I know we talked about this earlier, and we're at a good time. If you can, just maybe in 30 seconds or a minute, just thank everybody that has helped you out to be where you're at, and with that, we'll call it a wrap.
First of all, I believe in God and His sovereignty and His providence, that He is in control. So I'm thankful to Jesus Christ for everyone that He has brought into my life. I'm thankful for God ordaining my parents, because if it were not for them, I would not be the man that I am today. All of my training partners throughout the years, starting with Mark Hahn, Jonathan Logan, if you've ever worked out with me before, I thank you. All the people that have helped me in preparation, my sponsor, Garden of Life, for awesome supplements that work, that are organic, all natural, raw, whole food, no artificial anything. I'm very thankful for my sponsor and for their support, for Kevin Watley, Antoine, all of my friends and family. I apologize, y'all. I have to charge it to my head and not to my heart. But just everyone that has ever helped me, supported me, cheered me on, given me a word of encouragement. All my friends on Facebook, all the people following me on Instagram, all my friends, fans, supporters, family members, people in the church, everyone, I thank you very much.
Well, it sounds like you got a lot of great people behind you, and they certainly are very proud of you. Like I said, for a lot of guys, when they get the pro card, it's like, what do I do now? But I mean, you won the Team Universe, you won your class, you won the overall. That takes just an incredible amount of talent. That is not luck. That's not coincidence. That is all you and the people behind you. So I really, really appreciate this interview. This is Christian Duke for RxMuscle.com.